Welcome back to Wristwatch Deep Dive. Today I'll be talking about my Marvin Malton diver. I'm not a dealer or flipper. I'm not selling the watches I cover. I'm just highlighting watches I have in my collection. All right, so this is the Marvin Malton diver. Reference number is M126.14.45.95.1. And let me take it out of the box here. Here is the watch. Still have it on the tang. All right, so 43 millimeter stainless steel case. It's kind of a square case there, but it's not, round dial with a square case. 12.1 millimeters thick. It has a blue rubber band. I kept the tang on this one. It feels and looks very rugged and high quality. This blue rubber is not like one that you would see. This is like something that I would see on like an Omega, a higher quality watch or higher price point watch, I guess. It's a better way to say that. The movement is a Sellita SW200 automatic movement. That has 42-hour power reserve, scratch resistant sapphire crystal. There's a screw down crown with a crown protection latch. So similar to kind of like what you would see on the Panerai. It's not as rugged. It's a little bit more flimsy, but it doesn't. I'm describing it as flimsy, but it's not. This is very, it's definitely safe to use. It's not going to break. It doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything like that. But it is screw down crown, so I unscrew the crown here. It has hacking seconds, and this is how I set the time and the date. It does have a date complication at the 3 o'clock position. And you control the internal dive bezel. Here, let me screw the crown down. Back down. And so this mechanism here is how you control the internal dive bezel. As so. So the dive bezel is internal underneath the sapphire crystal, and you use this dial here. It's kind of cool. It's this red. Marvin likes to use the color red. We'll talk about that later. But it's different. It's interesting. The internal dive bezel, you've seen that on my Long Island's Legend Diver. It has another dial to control that. This one's on the right side of this side of the dial, the case. So just different, pretty cool. Yeah, it's that. So let's see here. And that's between the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock position. This is a black dial with lume on both hands and indexes. Marvin watches feature a red marker at the 8 o'clock. So you see that red marker there at the 8 o'clock position. They have that on their dials as a distinctive design element tied to their historical association with car racing. The red color is often used to signify speed and is a visual cue that reflects their brand identity as Marvin the Motorist watches, where the 8 could be seen as a subtle reference to the shape of a car steering wheel. So you'll see that on Marvin watches. The 8 is in a red color. This has a solid case back with movement and company information engraved on the back. It has the starfish signify it's a dive watch. And I acquired this watch, believe it or not, from Amazon. So you can go to Amazon.com and buy Marvin watches. The band does have a quick release to make it easy to change out the band. It did only come with one band, but if I had multiple bands, I can change the colors out, which I always like. I always like that feature instead of having you use a tool in there. All right, so brand info. Marvin is a Swiss luxury watch company that was founded in 1850 by brothers Mark and Emmanuel Didashim. The company went through a couple name changes before settling on Marvin in 1912. This was primarily due to the American customers becoming the marketing focus. A name that's easy to pronounce, short and easy to pronounce. Marvin originally created their own movements to use in their watches, but they also used Rolex movements for a time as well. In the 1940s, the company has had close relationships with KLM Airlines, Ferrari, Mercedes, Jaguar, Fiat, Land Rover, and Chevrolet. In 1950, at the 100-year anniversary, Marvin had a global distribution network that stretched across 70 countries. One product of note was the Flying Dutchman, a wrist or pendant watch worn by KLM pilots and flight staff. The company also produced the iconic tire watch, a keychain watch in the shape of an automobile tire, and the motorist, which included a case back insert so it would rest on the inside of the wrist while driving. By 1976, the firm became part of the MSR Group, along with Revutamin and Vulcane, but Marvin did not succeed in making a transition to quartz, and the brand was abandoned in the 1980s. The company was produced under a license by various firms before being relaunched in 2007. The new Marvin retained the historic crown logo, so you'll see the crown logo here. Might be kind of hard to see with the camera there, but this logo here. And the red double marker at the 8 o'clock position. So that is a licensed feature, believe it or not, by Marvin. Since 2015, Marvin has been focused on the Asian markets, especially China. So why I chose this? I was curious about the brand when I found it. I kind of found it, I don't know, searching online, looking at different Swiss watch companies, historic companies. I think I stumbled on it on Amazon, I think first, and then I kind of started researching it, and I got interested. It was a very cheap watch. On Amazon, it was relatively cheap compared to other Swiss watches, so I pushed go on it, and I thought this feature with the internal dive bezel with the red dial was unique. And I was like, well, I didn't expect much from it, so I have to say I'm impressed. It has weight to it. It feels, as good quality as an Omega, right? Seamaster. That's what it feels. The rubber, the way the band is, I have to say, this doesn't feel like a sub $1,000 watch. It feels like, I would say, at least $2,000 to $2,500 price point. It's a nice feeling watch. It feels rugged, and the Salida movement isn't a super cheap movement. So well done, Marvin. All right, we'll talk about the box here before we get to the lume shot. So this is kind of a weird situation where the outer box is cheap already. Like, it came from Amazon, but already when I pulled it out of my closet, there's some deterioration here. It's not the greatest outdoor box. Like, this is kind of subpar. But then when you open it, this box inside the box is actually pretty nice. It's leather bound. This has a magnetic clasp here. So, that's soft to the touch, cushiony. It's actually pretty nice, the box inside the box. So it's kind of a, they put money here. They didn't put so much money here, which is fine. It's their prerogative. You do have a book here, instructions for use. There's a card there. But yeah, so I thought that's pretty interesting. Usually when a watch company goes cheap on the box, they go cheap on the box throughout. But this time, they're cheap on the outside box, but not so cheap on the inside box. All right, so we'll do a lume shot real quick. Charge it up here. All right, so there's the lume. Now I have to say, again, this lume is above average. I like it. I like that the bezel's illuminated. The indexes and the hands are very prominent. Even the second hand, it has a tiny lume that I can see it sweeping. Well done. This is great. It's something that impresses me for this price point. The only thing I would like to say that this watch could have done is they could have done like a two-tone lume, similar to that you've seen like an Omega Seamaster. But yeah, this is nice. So above average lume. Yeah, great. All right, put the lights back on. All right. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Marvin watches. I think it's a great quality watch, especially for the price. Shoot me a comment on the video, or you can email me at wristwatchdeepdive@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next watch.